You're sabotaging your financial success right now. Not consciously, not deliberately, but systematically. There's a psychological force operating beneath your awareness that's destroying your wealth-building potential every single day. And you have no idea it's happening. This isn't about lack of knowledge. You probably know what you should do financially. Save more, invest consistently, build multiple income streams, delay gratification. You know these things, but you don't do them. Or you do them inconsistently. Or you start strong and then mysteriously self-destruct. Why? Because there are 6 psychological sabotage patterns running beneath your conscious awareness. These patterns were installed in childhood. They operate automatically. They feel completely normal to you. But they're destroying your financial future systematically. Today, I'm going to expose the 6 psychological sabotage patterns that are preventing your financial success. Not surface-level advice. Deep psychological mechanisms that most people never see. By the end of this video, you'll understand exactly how you're sabotaging yourself. You'll recognize the patterns in real time. And most importantly, you'll know how to dismantle these sabotage mechanisms permanently. This is the psychology you never see. But once you see it, you cannot unsee it. And once you cannot unsee it, you can finally stop sabotaging yourself. Let's expose the invisible force that's been destroying your wealth. The first sabotage pattern is called the upper limit problem, and it's destroying your wealth without you realizing it. Here's how it works. You have an unconscious ceiling for how much success you believe you deserve. This ceiling was set in childhood based on your family's financial situation, your parents' beliefs about money, and the implicit messages you received about your worth. This ceiling is invisible. You don't know it's there, but it controls everything. When you approach this ceiling, your unconscious mind panics. This is too much success. This isn't for people like me. I don't deserve this. And then you sabotage, not consciously, unconsciously. Let me show you how this plays out. You start a business. It grows, revenue increase, you're approaching $10,000 per month. Suddenly you make a series of bad decisions. You alienate a key client, you stop marketing, you create unnecessary drama, revenue drops back to $5,000, you've hit your upper limit, you get a promotion, salary increased to $80,000. Suddenly you develop anxiety, you start making mistakes at work, you become less productive, you get fired or quit. You've hit your upper limit, you build investment accounts to $50,000. Suddenly you make an impulsive purchase. You withdraw money for something unnecessary. You self-sabotage back down to $30,000. You've hit your upper limit. This pattern repeats throughout your entire financial life. And most people never recognize it. Here's what's crucial to understand. Your upper limit isn't about capability. It's about identity. Deep in your unconscious mind is a belief. I am a person who makes X dollars, or I am a person who has Y dollars in the bank. When reality exceeds this identity, your unconscious mind creates discomfort, and you unconsciously sabotage back to familiar territory. This is why lottery winners often lose everything. Their upper limit is far below their lottery winnings. They unconsciously sabotage back to their identity level. This is why people from poor families often struggle even with high incomes. Their upper limit was set in childhood at poverty level. Success feels wrong, uncomfortable, not like them. So they sabotage. Here's how to recognize your upper limit. Look at your financial history. Find the ceiling. What's the highest income you've sustained? What's the most wealth you've accumulated before something went wrong? That's approximately your upper limit. Now here's the critical question. Was the something that went wrong really external? Or did you unconsciously create it? Did the client really become difficult? Or did you unconsciously alienate them? Did the business really fail? Or did you unconsciously stop doing what was working? Did you really need that purchase? Or did you unconsciously sabotage your wealth accumulation? Most financial failures that seem external are actually unconscious internal sabotage. You're hitting your upper limit, and your unconscious mind is bringing you back down to familiar territory. The solution: consciously raise your upper limit. Deliberately expose yourself to higher wealth levels. Visualize yourself at 10 times your current ceiling. Spend time with people above your ceiling. Study people who've broken through. Practice feeling comfortable with more success. Tell yourself explicitly, I deserve unlimited financial success. Your unconscious needs permission. Give it permission, consciously, deliberately, repeatedly. Because until you raise your upper limit, you'll keep sabotaging back to your ceiling. No matter how hard you work, no matter what opportunities appear, your unconscious upper limit controls everything. The second sabotage pattern is financial guilt, and it's one of the most destructive psychological forces in wealth building. Here's how it works. Deep in your psychology is the belief that having money while others don't is morally wrong. This belief was installed by parents who said money doesn't grow on trees, with resentment. Religious teachings about the meek inheriting the earth and rich men in heaven. Cultural narratives about evil rich people and noble poor people. Social conditioning that wealth equals greed. This creates a psychological equation. Having money equals being a bad person. Now here's what happens. You start building wealth. Your income increases, your investments grow, and unconsciously you start feeling guilty. Why do I have this when others don't? What if people think I'm greedy? Maybe I don't deserve this. Who am I to have so much? This guilt is unbearable. So you sabotage to relieve it. You overspend to share the wealth. You make bad investments to help friends. You avoid charging what you're worth to be fair. You self-destruct financially to alleviate the guilt of success. This is the prosperity shame cycle. Build wealth, feel guilt, sabotage wealth, feel relief, build wealth, feel guilt, sabotage wealth. Endless cycle. Most people never escape it. Let me show you how subtle this is. You raise your prices, immediately you feel uncomfortable. Am I being greedy? Am I taking advantage? So you discount, sabotage. You save a large emergency fund. You feel guilty having money in savings while friends struggle. So you loan money you never get back. Sabotage. You buy something nice for yourself. Immediately, guilt floods in. This is selfish. People are starving. So you donate impulsively. Sabotage. The sabotage isn't obvious. It disguises itself as virtue. I'm being generous. I'm being fair. I'm being compassionate. But underneath is guilt-driven financial self-destruction. Here's what's crucial. True generosity comes from abundance. Guilt-driven giving comes from psychological discomfort. One builds sustainable impact. One sabotages your wealth and helps no one long-term. A wealthy person can give millions sustainably. A guilt-sabotage person gives hundreds and stays poor. Which actually helps more people? The answer's obvious. But financial guilt prevents you from seeing it. Here's the psychological truth. Having money doesn't make you bad. Having money makes you powerful. What you do with that power determines your character. Hoarding money selfishly equals character problem. Building wealth to create impact equals character strength. But financial guilt doesn't distinguish. It just says money equals bad. Having it equals guilt. This is psychological programming, not truth. Here's how to dismantle financial guilt. Separate money from morality. Money is neutral, a tool. Having tools isn't immoral. Using tools for harm is immoral. Commit to ethical wealth building. Build wealth through value creation, not exploitation. Build wealth to increase your positive impact. Build wealth to help more people, not fewer. When guilt arises, examine it. Is this real guilt from actual wrongdoing? Or psychological guilt from childhood programming? Real guilt requires behavior change. Psychological guilt requires belief change. Most financial guilt is psychological, not real. It's sabotage disguised as conscience. Recognize it. Reject it. Build wealth anyway. Because guilty, poor people help no one. Wealthy people with strong values help millions. The third sabotage pattern is identity protection, and it's devastatingly subtle. Here's the mechanism. Your identity is built around your current circumstances. If you've been struggling financially for years, struggling financially is part of your identity. It's who you are. It's familiar. It's comfortable in a strange way. Now you start building wealth, success appears, money flows, and suddenly there's a psychological crisis. If I'm not struggling anymore, who am I? Your unconscious mind experiences this as an existential threat. Your entire identity is built around struggle. If you remove struggle, your identity dissolves. That's terrifying psychologically. So your unconscious mind protects your identity by sabotaging your success. It keeps you struggling because struggle is familiar. Struggle is safe. Struggle is who you are. Let me show you how this manifests. You've always been the broke friend. That's your role in your social group. You start making money. Now what's your role? Who are you in this group if not the broke friend? Unconscious sabotage to maintain identity and social position. You've always been the struggling artist. That's your identity. That's your story. That's how you see yourself. You start making good money from your art. Now you're not struggling. Are you still an artist? Or have you sold out? Unconscious sabotage to maintain your true artist identity. You've always been the underdog. That's your narrative. That's your motivation. That's your story. You start winning. You start succeeding. Now you're not the underdog. You're the favorite. That doesn't feel like you. Unconscious sabotage to return to underdog status. Here's what makes this so destructive. You're not sabotaging because you don't want success. You're sabotaging because success threatens your sense of self. And protecting your identity feels more important than building wealth. This is why people stay in toxic patterns for decades. The pattern is their identity. Changing the pattern means changing who they are. That's psychologically terrifying. Here's the deeper layer. Your struggle might be the most interesting thing about you. It's your story. It's what makes you unique. It's what bonds you with others who struggle. If you remove the struggle, what's left? Are you still interesting? Do you still have a story? Do you still belong with your tribe? These unconscious questions create powerful sabotage. You'll destroy your financial success to maintain your identity and your social connections. This is why crabs in a bucket is real. Your struggling friends unconsciously pull you back down, not because they're malicious, because your success threatens the group identity, and you let them pull you down. Because belonging feels more important than wealth. Here's how to break identity protection sabotage. Consciously build a new identity around success. I am a person who builds wealth. I am a person who succeeds. I am a person who creates value and receives abundance. Say these daily. Write them daily. Embody them daily. Find new communities where success is the shared identity. Join communities of wealth builders. Surround yourself with people who've made the identity shift. Their success becomes normalized. Your success becomes part of belonging, not separation. Rewrite your story consciously. Your old story. I'm a struggling person trying to make it. Your new story. I'm a successful person who overcame struggle. Same history, different identity, different future. Here's what's critical. You will protect whatever identity you hold most strongly. If your identity is struggler, you'll sabotage to maintain struggle. If your identity is wealth builder, you'll eliminate anything preventing wealth. Change your identity. Stop sabotaging, build wealth. It's a choice. But first, you have to see that you're choosing your struggle to maintain your identity. The fourth sabotage pattern is fear of visibility, and it kills financial success silently. Here's the psychological mechanism. Building wealth requires visibility. You have to be seen. Your business needs visibility. Your value needs visibility. Your skills need visibility. Your services need visibility. But deep in your psychology is a fear. If I become visible, I'll be judged. If people see me, they'll reject me. If I stand out, I'll be attacked. If I'm successful, people will resent me. This fear was installed by childhood experiences. Maybe you were criticized for standing out. Maybe you were bullied for being different. Maybe your parents warned you, don't get too big for your britches. Maybe your culture valued humility over self-promotion. Now you have a deep psychological association. Visibility equals danger. This creates financial sabotage because you cannot build significant wealth while hiding. But you're terrified of visibility, so you sabotage to stay safe. Here's how this plays out. You build a great product, but you don't market it aggressively because aggressive marketing requires visibility. Unconscious sabotage to avoid being seen. You have valuable skills, but you don't promote them confidently because confident self-promotion requires visibility. Unconscious sabotage to stay hidden. You create content, but you don't share it widely because wide distribution requires visibility. Unconscious sabotage to avoid judgment. You start networking, but you minimize your success when people ask about it because owning your success requires visibility. Unconscious sabotage through false humility. The pattern is consistent. Every opportunity for visibility triggers fear. Fear triggers sabotage. Sabotage keeps you safe and invisible and poor. Here's what's insidious. You rationalize the sabotage. I don't want to be pushy. Translation. I'm afraid of visibility. I don't want to brag. Translation. I'm afraid of standing out. I prefer to let my work speak for itself. Translation. I'm afraid of promoting myself. I don't need a lot of money anyway. Translation. I'm afraid of the visibility that comes with wealth. These aren't values. These are fears disguised as values, and they're sabotaging your financial potential. Here's the truth. Building wealth requires being seen by thousands or millions of people. Your product needs to be visible to customers. Your services need to be visible to clients. Your value needs to be visible to employers or investors. Your content needs to be visible to audiences. There is no path to significant wealth that doesn't involve visibility. None. So if you're sabotaging visibility, you're sabotaging wealth automatically. Let me prove this to you. Every wealthy person is visible. Business owners are visible to customers. Executives are visible to stakeholders. Investors are visible to deal flow. Creators are visible to audiences. Service providers are visible to clients. Show me an invisible wealthy person. You can't. Because invisibility and wealth are incompatible. But your fear of visibility is running your financial decisions. You're choosing safety over success, hiding over wealth, invisibility over impact. Here's how to dismantle fear of visibility. Expose yourself to visibility gradually. Start small. Share your work with 10 people, then 100, then 1,000. Build tolerance. Reframe visibility as service. You're not being seen for ego. You're being seen so you can help people. Visibility serves others. Separate visibility from worth. Being visible doesn't mean you think you're better than others. It means you're offering value. Practice rejection tolerance. Get rejected 100 times deliberately. Apply for things you won't get. Pitch to people who'll say no. Desensitize yourself to the fear. Because here's what's true. The judgment you fear mostly doesn't come. People are focused on themselves. And the judgment that does come is from people who don't matter. But the opportunity that comes from visibility changes everything. Stop hiding, get visible, build wealth. The fifth sabotage pattern is learned helplessness, and it's one of the most paralyzing psychological forces in wealth building. Here's the mechanism. Learned helplessness is a psychological state where you believe your actions don't affect outcomes. You've tried before, nothing changed. You've worked hard, no results. You've made plans, they failed. So you learn, nothing I do matters. I'm powerless. Success is for other people, not me. This belief is devastating because once you believe your actions don't matter, you stop taking actions. And if you don't take action, you guarantee the exact outcome you fear. It's a self-fulfilling prophecy. Here's how learned helplessness develops. Childhood poverty. You watched your parents work hard and stay poor. You learned hard work doesn't lead to wealth. Early business failures. You tried entrepreneurship 3 times, all failed. You learned, I can't build a successful business. Investment losses. You invested and lost money. You learned, investing doesn't work for me. Repeated rejection. You applied for 50 jobs or pitched 50 clients, all rejected. You learned, nobody wants what I offer. Each experience reinforced the belief, my actions don't matter. I'm helpless. Success is random or impossible. Now you're paralyzed. You see opportunities, but you don't take them. Why? Because you believe they won't work anyway. You hear advice, but you don't implement it. Why? Because you believe nothing works for you. You know what you should do, but you don't do it. Why? Because you believe doing it won't change anything. This is learned helplessness, and it's sabotaging your wealth by preventing action entirely. Let me show you how subtle this is. You read about investing, but you don't start because you believe people like me don't succeed with investing. You have a business idea, but you don't launch because you believe my ideas never work out. You could ask for a raise, but you don't, because you believe they'll say no anyway. You should network, but you don't, because you believe networking doesn't work for me. Every opportunity dies before action, because learned helplessness killed motivation. Here's what makes this so destructive. Learned helplessness feels like wisdom. It feels like you're being realistic. You're not being naive. You're not setting yourself up for disappointment. But it's not wisdom. It's psychological paralysis disguised as realism. Here's the truth. Your past failures don't predict your future results. The circumstances that created previous failures may no longer exist. Your skills have improved. Your knowledge has increased. Your network has expanded. The market has changed. You've changed. But learned helplessness keeps you locked in the past. It assumes the future will be identical to the past. That's statistically and logically false. Here's what psychology research shows. Learned helplessness can be unlearned through small wins, through experiencing control, through seeing cause and effect between action and outcome. You need evidence that your actions matter. Here's how to dismantle learned helplessness. Start with guaranteed small wins. Choose one financial action where success is almost certain. Save $10. Complete a free online course. Sell one item you don't need. These are simple wins, but they provide evidence. Your actions create results. Stack small wins deliberately. 10 small wins create momentum. 50 small wins rebuild belief in your agency. 100 small wins eliminate learned helplessness. Document every win. Keep a wins journal. Write down every positive financial outcome, every dollar saved, every skill learned, every opportunity taken. Physical evidence fights learned helplessness. Study your successes, not your failures. Most people replay failures repeatedly. This reinforces helplessness. Replay your successes repeatedly. This rebuilds agency. Test the helplessness belief empirically. Your belief, nothing I do matters in finance. Test. Take 10 financial actions. Track outcomes. Evidence will show some actions created positive outcomes. Your belief was false. Commit to 90 days of action regardless of belief. Act despite believing it won't work. Take the actions anyway. 90 days of action will generate results. Results will disprove the helplessness belief. Here's what's critical. Learned helplessness is based on past evidence, but that past evidence was collected under different circumstances with different you, different knowledge, different skills, different environment. The past doesn't determine the future. Unless you let it, your actions absolutely matter. Every successful person took actions that mattered. You're not different. You're just believing different thoughts. Change your thoughts. Take actions. Get results. Prove learned helplessness wrong. The sixth sabotage pattern is the most counterintuitive. It's called secondary gain. And it's the psychological reason you might unconsciously want to stay poor. Here's the disturbing truth. Your financial struggle is giving you something valuable psychologically. These are called secondary gains, hidden benefits, and they're powerful enough to make you sabotage your own success. Let me show you the most common secondary gains. Secondary gain. Number 1, avoiding responsibility. When you're poor, you have an excuse for everything. Can't invest? You don't have money. Can't start a business? You don't have capital. Can't pursue opportunities? You can't afford it. Your poverty is a shield against responsibility. If you became wealthy, you'd lose this excuse. You'd have to take full responsibility for your choices. That's psychologically uncomfortable. so you sabotage to maintain the excuse. Secondary gain number 2, maintaining victim identity. Being poor makes you a victim of circumstances. Victims get sympathy. Victims get support. Victims are never blamed because nothing is their fault. This is psychologically comfortable. You're not failing. The system is failing you. If you became wealthy, you'd lose victim status. You'd be seen as privileged. You might even be blamed for things. That's uncomfortable. So you sabotage to maintain victim identity and the sympathy it brings. Secondary gain number 3, avoiding envy and resentment. When you're poor, nobody envies you. Nobody resents you. Nobody talks negatively about you behind your back. You're safe from social judgment. If you became wealthy, people might envy you, resent you, judge you, talk about you. That social discomfort is terrifying. So you sabotage to avoid being the target of envy. Secondary gain number 4, maintaining connection with struggling loved ones. Your family is poor. Your friends struggle financially. That's your tribe. That's your connection. If you became wealthy, you'd be different, separate. Maybe they'd resent you. Maybe you'd lose them. That fear of disconnection is powerful. So you sabotage to maintain belonging with people you love. Secondary gain number 5, avoiding the work of wealth. Building wealth requires work, consistent effort, difficult decisions, delayed gratification. Staying poor is easier. No difficult investment decisions, no business management stress, no wealth protection concerns. If comfort and ease are your hidden priorities, you'll sabotage wealth to maintain comfort. Secondary gain number 6, moral superiority. Some people use poverty as proof of their virtue. I'm not materialistic like those greedy rich people. I care about people, not money. I'm humble and authentic, not fake and flashy. Your poverty proves you're morally superior. That's a powerful psychological reward. If you became wealthy, you'd lose this moral high ground. That's unbearable. So you sabotage to maintain your virtuous self-image. These secondary gains are unconscious. You don't realize they're driving your behavior. But they're creating powerful motivation to stay poor. Here's how to identify your secondary gains. Ask yourself honestly, what would I lose if I became wealthy? List everything. Comfort, excuses, sympathy, connection, simplicity, moral superiority. Every item on that list is a secondary gain, a hidden reason you're sabotaging your wealth. Now ask, is this secondary gain worth staying poor for? Is sympathy worth poverty? Is avoiding envy worth financial struggle? Is maintaining victim identity worth giving up wealth? The answer should be obvious. But for most people, the secondary gains feel more valuable than the wealth. That's why they sabotage unconsciously. Here's how to eliminate secondary gains. Make the cost visible. Your secondary gain: I get sympathy for being poor. The cost: I'll be poor forever. I'll never help my family. I'll die broke. Which is more important? Force yourself to see the real cost of the secondary gain. Find alternative sources. Your secondary gain: connection with struggling family. Alternative: build wealth and use it to help them rise too. You don't have to choose between wealth and connection. You can have both. But you have to be creative. Reframe the gain. Your secondary gain: moral superiority from not being materialistic. Reframe: moral superiority from building wealth ethically and using it for good. You can be wealthy and virtuous. The reframe eliminates the false choice. Here's what's critical. As long as you're getting psychological rewards from being poor, you'll stay poor. Your unconscious mind prioritizes these rewards over wealth. You have to consciously identify the secondary gains, consciously evaluate their true worth, and consciously choose wealth over hidden psychological benefits. Stop getting rewards from struggle. Start getting rewards from success. Here's what matters right now. You have 6 psychological sabotage patterns destroying your financial success. The upper limit problem, keeping you below an unconscious ceiling. Financial guilt, making you feel bad for having money. Identity protection, making you sabotage to stay who you are. Fear of visibility, keeping you hidden and broke. Learned helplessness, making you believe your actions don't matter. Secondary gains, making poverty psychologically rewarding. These patterns are invisible. They operate beneath consciousness. They feel completely normal. But they're systematically destroying your wealth-building potential. Here's your protocol for dismantling them. Step 1, awareness. You can't fix what you can't see. Read through these 6 patterns daily for 30 days. Identify which ones are operating in your life. Write down specific examples of each pattern. Make the invisible visible. Step 2, interrupt every time you notice a sabotage pattern. Interrupt it physically. Snap your fingers, say, "Stop," out loud. Physically interrupt the automatic pattern. This activates conscious override. Step 3, immediately replace the sabotage pattern with the opposite action. Upper limit activation. Take one more step towards success instead of pulling back. Financial guilt. Affirm, "I deserve wealth and will use it well." Identity protection. Act from your new wealthy identity, not your old struggling identity. Fear of visibility. Share your work one more place. Learned helplessness. Take one small action regardless of belief. Secondary gain. Choose wealth over the psychological reward. Replace sabotage with wealth-building behavior in real time. Step 4. Repeat these patterns are deeply grooved neural pathways. One interruption won't eliminate them. You need 100 plus interruptions and replacements. Pattern appears. Interrupt. Replace. Pattern appears. Interrupt. Replace. Repeat for 90 days minimum. What you'll notice, week 1 to 2, you'll see the patterns constantly. They're everywhere. Week 3 to 4, you'll catch them earlier, before full sabotage. Week 5 to 8, you'll interrupt them more consistently. Week 9 to 12, new patterns will start becoming automatic. By day 90, the sabotage patterns will fire less frequently. Your wealth-building behaviors will flow more naturally. You won't be fighting yourself anymore. This is psychological liberation. You'll stop being your own worst enemy. You'll start being your own best ally. The invisible force destroying your wealth will be dismantled, and your financial success will finally be possible. Not because you learn new tactics, because you stop sabotaging yourself. That's the psychology you never see. Now you see it. Now you can dismantle it. Now you can build wealth without fighting yourself every step. Stop sabotaging. Start building. Your financial success depends on it.